Hi and welcome back to Garden Ninja. Now today, Henchman have sent me one of their massive wheelbarrows to do a review and a test for you, the Garden Ninja followers. Now I'm not saying that size is everything, but if you've got a large garden or loads of plants and compost or leaves to shift, then sometimes bigger is better when it comes to a wheelbarrow. So come on, let's check it out. So we've got the obvious bits such as the wheels, we've then got what looks like a wheel bracket, there's a frame that this fits onto and a load of other bits and bobs. So fingers crossed I managed to put this together correctly. So I've come across the first kind of niggle, which is that you've got this leg that's listed in the instructions. The instructions seem to be a bit back to front in that if you don't insert it into this axle here first, you'll never get it in, and I've tried. So I think the instructions are the wrong way around, but it is making it a little bit fiddly. So my advice for Henchman would be really to kind of try and simplify these instructions, or where possible, get it sent out as one bit, because I'm not sure that, you know, the non-DIYer would really relish this task. So I just want to take a quick moment to mention these, which are the wheels and tyres that go in the Henchman wheelbarrow. What's great about wheelbarrows that have these kinds of wheels, that have the valve in, you'll see that at the top there, is that they're basically like a bicycle tyre, so they've got an inner tube. So if, for example, you get a puncture, you can replace them. It means that you can either increase the air or let it down dependent on the terrain, and it just means that the wheelbarrow will work on a much broader variety of ground. You see those sort of plastic ball wheelbarrows and other types of tyres, but these are my preference. I think they're much more multifunctional. You can repair them, look after them, and they'll last an awful lot longer. So these are the clips that I was just talking about in relation to the old motorcycle wheel nut clips. Now these have got a sprung edge there, so I should be able to just push this through and it should clip on. I'm going to show you that in close-up now. So if you can see this pin here, this is what attaches the wheel. Ignore that, that's the other side. If you push that through, it should kind of clip. So there's no need for that awkward bending that you'll find on other tyres. So I really like that, that's a good bit of innovation. Nice and neat. So if you ever needed to change the tyre or take it off during a puncture, you literally just pull that back out by moving that, pulling it out. So it's just a spring-loaded pin. So another top tip of troubleshooting, and I think Henchman should take this feedback, is that by the time you get your second wheel on and put your washer on, as I have, I found that it obstructs the last hole, so it looks like it's not going to fit. However, I've just turned it on its side, and if I apply some pressure, then there is a bit of give and I can get the pin in. And I think for the majority of people that might not be obvious, and Henchman will end up with loads of emails and calls saying my wash is too thick, so I think maybe that could be put in the instructions. So I've given the Henchman barrow a good run and trial around the exploding atom garden, doing my usual chores, and here's my honest feedback. So I think the tub size is great. I think this one's either 300 or 350 litres, so you can get loads in it. I really like the fact that you've got those spring-loaded pins, because when you need to change a wheel to repair, if you get a thorn in your tyre or you need to pump some air in, that's far easier than the old-fashioned motorbike pin method. Other feedback, I thought the construction and the time it took me to put it together was a bit faffy, to be honest, and the instructions really do need some work. So Henchman, I think you just need to review those instructions and even consider sending this one out fully formed, because I think for most people, if you've not got a socket set and a bit of DIY experience, you may struggle. Other bits of feedback, if I stand up, I think we could really do with some form of rubber or material on the handle to stop your hands slipping off when it's wet. It can also get really cold. So I've got other wheelbarrows that have that on. That's a great feature that I think this one could benefit from. The next bit of feedback would be the leg down here. Now, I think that's too close to the ground, because when you lift it up to engage the wheelbarrow, you're having to push it quite far up before it clears. I've caught a few small mounds and lumps and bumps in along with that. And the effect is that you're having to push it further forward, meaning that the end of the wheelbarrow is pointing downwards, and I don't think you'll be able to fill it as full as if it had a bigger lip there or you had more clearance. That's another top tip that I think maybe Henchman could benefit from. So like I said before, I like to use larger wheelbarrows. What will hold a lot will hold a little. And if you're dealing with things like compost, leaves, moving plants, soil, you can fit so much more in here, and it's far easier on your hands and legs, and it's less effort. So if you've got the space for one and your garden is big enough, then I think a larger wheelbarrow is a really good investment. I'm going to show you this now next to the regular sized wheelbarrow, just to give you a basis for comparison. Come on Barry, time to move. So just to give you a basis of comparison, you can see my old trusty wheelbarrow here, the really dirty one that's rusty that I've had for years, in comparison with the Henchman. So the size difference is significant. You're going to be doing far fewer trips in that than you are in your average size wheelbarrow. Another point to note is in the old-fashioned wheelbarrows, the wheels, there we go, are usually with a bolt mechanism where you've got to have a spanner, whereas with the Henchman, you've got that quick release pin, so if you need to swap a wheel or do any maintenance, it's far quicker. So all in all, I think it's a nice bit of kit with some good features, but I think it needs a bit more finesse. The ground clearance, the complicated instructions, some of the tweaks you have to make to get it to fit together, in my experience, I think let it down slightly. I do like the tyre pins, and it's a nice size, but there's so many other wheelbarrows on the market in this competitive sector. So I think if Henchman could just tweak it slightly, then it would be a winner for me, but at the moment, it just needs a little bit more finesse. So there we have it, my review of the Henchman Wheelbarrow. Now I'm a champion to get people gardening, which is why all my reviews are always completely unbiased and as honest as I can make them. Where things work, I will point them out. If they don't quite work, I will give areas for improvement. Criticism is not a problem in Garden Ninja territory. If you've liked this video, why not subscribe to my YouTube channel where I've got loads more garden design hints, tips and hacks. If you manufacture a gardening product that you think makes gardening easier and is innovative, then feel free to get in touch to let me, the Garden Ninja, put it through its paces and tell you what I really think. I've been Garden Ninja, happy gardening.